Hey, I feel like you and me, or you all and me, I always feel like I speak to one person, checking on YouTube every day now. I wanted to talk today about why people quit. Why you might quit a lot of things that you wanted to proceed, even though you knew it was good for you. And the reason for that is because of emotional fitness. Because you would have kept going if you had the emotional stamina, if you had the mindfulness, if you had the energy in the brain to do those things. And a lot of reasons why is emotional, or really the reasons why are emotional fitness and mental fitness, which means the mindfulness of doing the things that you value in the moment means action by action, because then you don't see this big mountain, this huge thing in front of you where you get bogged down and overwhelmed. You're like, oh, I'm never gonna get this done, this channel or podcast or whatever. But then you make it about mindfully in this moment doing the thing that you value. And then the emotional fitness, because a lot of times the fear and the anxiety, you avoid things. And if you avoid things because of fear and anxiety, you create more fear and anxiety, because you show the brain that's important, because if it wasn't important, you wouldn't avoid it. And the brain will give you more anxiety and depression and uncomfortable emotions because it wants to protect you from those things that you value. And the reason why it wants to do that is because you show by avoiding it that it's dangerous. So you avoiding all those things that you value shows the brain by your behavior that those things are dangerous. And then of course the brain wants to support you in not doing those things. And it doesn't have hands, it doesn't have fingers, it doesn't have arms, it doesn't have knives. The only thing that it has is three things: emotions, thoughts, and bodily sensations. And so it will give you whatever emotions it has to give you, whichever it knows you react to. So some people react to guilt, some people react to anxiety, some people react to certain thoughts. So it could be a thought of not being good enough. It could be a thought of you're just too fat, too skinny, whatever it is, to do those things, right? It doesn't matter what thoughts, but you have to know that those things are patterns. And the more you listen to those thoughts and the more you react to those thoughts, the more you make those thoughts grow. And then, of course, you quit. So it's really the reaction to those thoughts and emotions that causes us to go on a different path that we didn't want to go. So the solution will be about, at first, being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the brain's old patterns that it gives you must be uncomfortable, because they have to be uncomfortable enough for you to not do the things that you value, because it thinks those things are dangerous. So they must be like the fears and the thoughts that you don't like. So it will give you those thoughts and emotions for you to stop doing those things, okay? So that's why you quit. So for you to know that these patterns are not you, it's called cognitive diffusion, the differentiation between you and your brain, okay? So a great way to start out is to practice mindfulness, because a lot of times you are not being mindful because you're following the urges of the brain. So the brain says, oh no, this is too much anxiety, just go on social media and distract yourself. With that, you will build a pattern, because you get emotionally weaker by trying to avoid the anxiety, because emotional fitness is the same as physical fitness. Just that in emotional fitness, the emotions are the weights. So the less you push weights, the less strong you are, right? So you want to be really a space for those emotions and thoughts, but not be reactive to them. And to be able to be a space is just to not react to them. And then people are like, oh, is it like shadow work where you just like sit with it? No, it's not. It's not, and that's not beneficial. Accept the emotions, but then you need to do something that you value. You need to spend your time on something that you want to spend your time on, because that's the way you show your brain, by spending your time on what you want to spend your time on, what you value. And by you not reacting to those emotions and thoughts, you're showing the brain that the old pattern is not relevant anymore. So an example for that would be, let's say you're in a relationship and you feel jealousy coming up and you want to go to the story of the other person and check to get safety and security. That would be a compulsion that would cause you more mental health problems, more anxiety, and build that emotional addiction, because the more emotional trauma you'll feel in the relationship, the more attached you will also be to that person. That's a lot of investment emotionally, and it will be like a drug addiction of highs and lows, lows and highs, and it will be just like the highs and the lows is the same way as like the drug addiction. The withdrawal and then taking the drug, right? The withdrawal, the uncomfortable emotion, and then the drug, making sure it's safe, making sure they still love you, asking them, where do we stand in the relationship? All of those things that in regular social media, it's like, oh, that's just communication that needs to happen. No. It can, like, if it comes from trying to make a feeling feel better, it will always be a compulsion, all right? So an example in that case would be to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. The jealousy comes up. The thoughts, oh my God, that person might cheat on me, comes up. And you're going to be like, okay, the thoughts can be there, and I'm going to mindfully focus now on working out, on building my business. I'm going to do this. And the brain will not stop. Don't think it will be comfortable. The brain will be like, no, come. You have to check. Do they cheat on you? You have to check. Make jealousy feel better. You have to check. And you have to stay grounded and stay, okay, I can be comfortable. Okay, brain, yeah. They're going to cheat on me, but I'm going to focus now on this thing, on this project, on this homework, mindfully. And when the brain wants to grab the phone, you don't grab it, you be comfortable being uncomfortable, and this actually causes more emotional fitness because you built the space of that emotion, right? And the more emotional fitness you develop over time, the more you're able to also do projects, things that you love that have emotional challenges in them, where there might be anxiety. But I want you to do those things at the same time. So don't like avoid them until you think you're ready, because until you think you're ready is also compulsion. The brain likes to be like, oh, I need to do self-improvement first before I can be in a relationship. I need to learn more teachings because I can start that project. That's also a compulsion because you're seeking for safety. You're trying to clean yourself first. In OCD, you call that a contamination compulsion before you're doing those things. But that will actually cause you to feel less ready and less ready because you're showing your brain that you always need more, you're never ready. And then even if you're done with those teachings, the brain's like, hey, you think you're ready yet? I don't think so. So do you see how you always will avoid and always quit because of emotions? So that's why you want to build the emotional fitness. I'm going to go this far here in this video, but if you guys have any questions, you can message me in the comments. If you don't have a YouTube account, it doesn't cost you anything. Make a YouTube account because you can support me at no cost by liking, commenting, and following. So, and don't only think of me, think of all the creators that always gave you like some blessings, that helped you, gave you clarity. Just for that, there's so many out there where you can support by making a YouTube account and liking, commenting, and subscribing. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon, okay? Bye-bye.